In the last video, we talked about the features of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, right? Where we talked about 6 features. In this video, we'll be learning about appraisal, that is the judgment of MGNREGA. First of all, the survey was conducted by India Human Development Survey. It is a non-government organization. It is not linked to the government, and this is the only source with all India survey. All right, so very dependable sources, and actually it's a collaboration of National Council of Applied Economic Research and University of Maryland, USA. NCAER has its office in New Delhi. Now, if we see, we'll be seeing the judgment on the basis of criticism and what are the benefits. First of all, poor implementation. Poor implementation because there is corruption in implementation. Fudging of muster rolls, right? Because the promises of the schemes was not kept, right? Promises like employment guarantee and minimum wages, and muster rolls are fudged primarily because implementation has been primarily seen because of two main reasons. First is the governance or the political will, and second is the awareness. Now, if we see the states which have done great as far as implementation is concerned, there is huge interstate differences, right? Since it's a all India scheme, the scheme should have been implemented all over India at the same, but we see huge differences between the states, right? Now let's name some of the states which have done great as far as implementation is concerned. These are Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, right? Very expected as South Indian states, but other South Indian states like Karnataka, they have not done. They have implemented this scheme very, very badly. Okay, apart from that, very pleasantly, northeastern states, Assam, Manipur, Tripura, etc., they have done great as far as implementation is concerned, really great. These were the states which didn't had a good track record as far as implementing other schemes, but as far as MGNREGA, they have done great, except Arunachal Pradesh is the exception. Apart from that, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, which also had a poor track record of implementing other schemes, they also did great. One of the reasons for Rajasthan is that Rajasthan has a very strong Gram Panchayat. Okay, now if we see other states which have done poorly, okay, so these were, good implementers. The poor implementers: Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Karnataka, and Maharashtra, right? Now, if we see these states, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, these states are poor implementer, and poor implementation is in those states which have higher proportion of poor households, right? So if we need to improve the implementation, if we need to improve the targeting, right, which we'll study just now, we need to improve the implementation. So since targeting, let's see what's the target. The target is 65% of beneficiaries belong to non-poor households. So if the ratio would have been opposite, 65% of beneficiaries would have been belonging to poor households, it would have done great. See, it's not illegal, but it is also not desirable. If the number would have been exact opposite, it would be great.
The third criticism is the quality of asset is really very poor. Now, if you see, this is mainly because of wage to material ratio, that is 60:40, maintained at the Gram Panchayat level. Now, the critique says that since amount invested in material is less, hence the quality of assets is poor. But there are counter arguments also. For example, with the same 60:40 ratio at the Gram Panchayat level, Tamil Nadu and Kerala have great quality of assets, right? And secondly, if we increase the material part, since material involves middlemen, and they are not into the muster roles, there is increased chance of corruption because they are also not in social audits, right? Now, all of this, the current government has said that let's not change the ratio, but the 60:40 ratio has to now be maintained at district level. Now, if we see again for and against, the for says that it is good for planning bigger projects like irrigation projects, but again says that the irrigation projects can also be built under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana and other schemes. And secondly, the counter argument says that autonomy of gram panchayat decreases because all the gram panchayats under the district have to anyhow maintain the 60:40 ratio at the district level, right? And thirdly, it says that keeping this scheme MGNREGAs as wage employment scheme would be better, right? Because that was the objective for which this scheme was started. The fourth criticism is higher inflation is caused by MGNREGAs. Now, the reason is that people are getting good amount of money at rural level. They are not going to urban level for jobs since there are shortage of labor in the urban areas. The labor charges is increasing in urban areas, hence cost of production is increasing, leading to inflation on supply side. Moreover, since the rural rural areas are getting money, there is legal bonding of them to get money, even if the infrastructure is not built. This leads to demand side inflation. Now, let's see what are the arguments and counter arguments. Now, the IHDS says that wage is only increased in lean season because since wage is increased only in lean season, because MGNREGAs people rarely they employ themselves around the year, and this is not responsible for increase in wage around the year. There may be other factors also. And finally, argument for the higher inflation says that increase in wage shows the partial success, because elsewhere the wages is increasing, and hence increasing in wage in rural areas shows the partial success, right? So that was the four criticism: poor implementation, poor targeting, poor asset quality, and finally higher inflation caused by MGNREGAs. That's all. Thank you.